everyone, Marcus Luft, your host of the Halfway Motors video blog, episode 6. I'm general manager and partner in the store here, the Nissan franchise at 940 Memorial, testing out my new phone case, which has a suction on the back, so that's kind of cool, giving you this sort of more unique viewpoint, which really just allows me to film more of these things when I have spare time, like while I'm driving to go pick up my children, like I'm doing right now. So the last 2 days I was in Toronto, downtown Toronto, Weston Harbour Castle, for the Canadian Auto Remarketing Conference, which is a fancy way of saying it was a used car conference. And it was the first time I'd ever been to it. I've been to a number of different seminars before, industry seminars put on by different groups, but this is the first time that I was at a Canadian specific one, and one specific to used cars. And it was good and interesting, and a lot of people there in attendance. And I think that it's a fair statement that, you know, any of my dealer friends would probably agree with me in most cases, that used cars is one of the more difficult departments to make money in the dealership. You know, it's a lot of different moving pieces. Every vehicle is unique. Every customer is a little bit different. You could have two cars exactly the same color, same mileage, same model, trim, etc., but they're different for some reason. One's a little more banged up, one's got, you know, an accessory on it, one doesn't. So anyways, it's all very different, and it's one of the areas that we are focusing on to perform better. And I know that in my 20 group, for example, which is a bunch of Nissan dealers to get together with a moderator to go over our statements 3 times a year and to try to improve, that it's an area that a lot of people focus on because it's just it's difficult. So our used car manager, Brad Felino, who's on a much deserved vacation right now for this week, has done a very good job in the last couple of years of starting to turn that department around, but it is arguably still one of the hardest departments and one of the ones that requires the most amount of work. So, you know, part of the purpose of this video is to just explain the difficulties, but also to let you guys know that we are actually in the used car game, and we're in the used car game, you know, what we would like to think to be fairly aggressively for a Nissan store of our size. We have used cars along the front line, and then we have used cars along a lot opposite of our CarStar facility. So we have lots of inventory. We have 2 dedicated salespeople. We're really trying to make a go of it. And this conference was good because it opened my eyes a little bit to some different approaches in marketing to get our vehicles out in front of you, the buyer, in a more effective way. And then it also talked about some trends in the market, specifically the used car market. And one of those trends that we need to deal with and be more of an expert in is the subprime or non-prime buyer, which is the consumer that might potentially have some credit challenges. Not that they have no credit, but their history might not be as clean as some others, and that buying cycle is very different. That buying cycle is a lot longer. It takes a lot more work to get those customers into a vehicle, but it's something we want to do because then that can help foster repeat business. And if we can work towards getting you into a vehicle that you can actually afford the payment on and be happy in the car, and you can reestablish some of your credit, then that's a win-win for us and for the customer. So it was, you know, 2 days away from home, 2 days away from the store, 2 days away from our customers, but I found it to be very worthwhile. And you know, I enjoy going to those things because anytime that I can improve and that we can work together as a store to improve and to make it a better experience for our customers is a win. So that's where I was the last 2 days. Learned a lot. Now it's time to come back, wait for Brad to get back after his little mini golf vacation in the Midwest, and put some of these ideas on paper down into process and into reality. So looking forward to what that brings. And yeah, but just happy to be back. The weather here's better than it was down there, so if you can imagine that. So anyways, thank you very much for watching episode 6. We're gonna keep rolling. If you have ideas, if you have comments, if you have suggestions, something you'd like to know about, some feature of a car you don't understand that maybe you'd like us to do a video on, and we do have a couple of ideas about that coming soon, so stay tuned. Shoot me an email, marcus.luft@halfwaymotors.com, or find us on Facebook, Halfway Motors Nissan, or Twitter @Halfway Motors Nissan, or our Instagram account, also Halfway Motors Nissan. Glad to connect with you any which way that you would like. Thank you very much for watching, and have yourselves a fantastic day.